One of the things that Eurocentrists like to do is take credit for any and everything that was done historically. So, for that reason, I'm going to highlight and give tribute to some of the many black professionals, engineers, scientists, and scholars and aeronautic professionals who were involved in the space program. I'm going to use the images and stories from this particular magazine. In this picture right here, we have chemist Edwin O. Foster, who directs the Environmental Control Laboratory at North American Rockwell Space Division in California. In this image, he was developing ways to keep certain parts of the Apollo rocket cleaner than surgical instruments. In this picture here, we have Kelvin E. Shaw. He was the engineer who supervised the engineers who developed compartments in the command module. And in this picture, we have Dr. Lewis B. Grant, who specializes in the study of hydrazine, which is a liquid which is the basis for fuel that powered the lunar module's takeoff from the moon and the positioning of the command module for Earth re-entry. In this image here, we have the electrical engineer, Haynes Ellis Jr., who is often consulted when problems arise in Apollo's supersensitive high-gain antenna. He has worked 13 years on electronic components for missiles, commercial aircraft, and airborne radar systems. In this picture, we have gas researcher Dr. Charles W. Balknight, who told NASA how far an astronaut should walk from the lunar landing to be sure that moon rocks he picks up are not contaminated by gases from the lander. He also studied how to stop re-entry communications blackout. In this image here, from Steel Beach, California, we have systems engineer Crawford George, who makes sure that its thousands of parts fit perfectly with the first and third stages that other firms make on the landing on the second stage rocket. Here we have a picture of Dr. George W. Reed, who is studying lunar rocks that were brought back after the first moon landing. He is a cosmochemist from Argonne National Laboratories near Chicago. He bombarded part of his 1/3 ounce sample with rays in an atomic reactor, and he found that rocks contain a mineral not found on Earth. In this picture, we have vehicle engineer Remer C. Prince, who coordinated the computer programs that were used to launch Apollo 11. And in this picture, he checks over the test requirements for the coming Apollo 14 blastoff. Obviously, these are old pictures. In this picture here, where my cursor is, we have engineer Hugh M. Brown, a supervisor of Federal Electric Corp's 7 tracking stations at Kennedy Space Center. In this picture, he inspects radar that warns of course deviations on a spaceship. And on this picture, we have a Boeing engineer, Earl Anthony of New Orleans, who oversees the plant. His job is launch safety. Picture here, we have Dr. Leon Moss, who helped North American Rockwell Corp decide the structure of the command module above. And also in this, he was instrumental in deciding what metals should be used for shells of Mars exploration vehicles. And of course, there are multitudes more even. But the next time you hear a white supremacist, a Eurocentrist, talk about the white man walking on the moon, refer him to this website and tell him to do a little research before he continues to embarrass himself with his apparent lack of knowledge of the truth. We give them credit for everything they have achieved, and it's admirable. But some people want to take credit for everything.